In this subsection, you are going to learn to form the equation of a line from a graph and also when two coordinates are given. Let us examine this graph that is shown here. We know that the general equation of a line is given as y equal mx plus c, where m is the gradient or slope of the line and c is the y-intercept. That's the point where the graph cuts the y-axis. And if we note here on the y-axis here, the graph cuts the axis at -2. So in this case c is equal to -2. So we only need the gradient to form the equation. So the gradient of a line is the change in y value divided by the change in x value. So I'm going to show you how to find the gradient of the line from the graph here. All you need is to mark 2 points on the graph, which are shown here, and then you draw a triangle, which is shown here. And to determine the gradient from that, what you do is to identify the height of the triangle, which is a change in y value, which is given as the height of the triangle, and also the base of the triangle here would be the change in x value. And if we count the units here on the triangle, the height of the triangle, we know that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 units. So the change in y value is 10 units and the change in x value is 2 units. Therefore, the gradient is going to be 10 divided by 2, and that's 5. So we have found the gradient of the line. We know the y-intercept, which is -2, so we can write the equation as y is equal to mx plus c. In this case, m is the gradient, which is 5, and c is -2, so the equation of the line is 5x minus 2. Now the next thing we are going to do is to form the equation of a line given 2 coordinates, when we are given 2 coordinates. So let's have a look at this, how this is done. Here we're given 2 coordinates and we want to form the equation of the line. We can recall that the general equation of the line is given as y equals to mx plus c, where m is the gradient of the line, and from the coordinates here we have a formula to find the gradient. Gradient here, m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let us label these coordinates as x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, and then we can work out the gradient. So 0 would be x1, minus 2 would be y1, x2, and then we have y2. So all we have to do is to substitute these values into the formula and work out the gradient. And in this case, y2 is 8 minus y1, which is -2, and that gives us 10. And then x2 is 2 minus x1, which is 0, so that gives us 10 over 2, so the gradient is 5. Now we have the gradient, so what we could do now is to use this equation and we could find the value of c. But in order to go through that, I have a formula which gives you a quick working out of the value, the equation of the line. So in this case, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to share this formula with you, which is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So in this case, all we have to do is just to substitute the values into this formula and we get the equation of the line. So we have y minus y1, in this case y1 is -2, so it's y minus -2 is equal to m, which is the gradient, into x minus x1. x1 here is 0, so when we simplify this we get y plus 2 equals 5. We need to write it in the form y equals mx plus c, so we take 2 both sides, so we get y equals to 5x minus 2, which, if you note, the graph that was drawn before and we formed the equation of the line is the same coordinates for this. Now I'm going to give you some questions to do, and you need to form the equation of the line given the coordinates and also on a grid. Okay, here are 3 questions. You need to find the equation of the line that passes through this point, and also find the equation of the line of these lines that are given here, the coordinates that are given here that passes through these coordinates. Remember, the formula for the gradient is given as m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So use this information to find the equation of the line. Also, you need this information also to calculate, to work out the formula for the equation of the line. So once you get the gradient, you fit or you substitute the values in this formula here to get the general equation of the line, which is y equals mx plus c. Okay.